ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदसमआणिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ. May my speech be accorded with the mind. May my mind be accorded with the speech. O self-effulgent one Brahman, reveal thyself to me. May you both, speech and mind, be the carriers of the highest truth to me. May I not all that I have heard depart from me. May I be able to join day and night through this study. I shall utter what is verbally true. I shall utter what is mentally true. May that Brahman protect me. May that Brahman protect the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. Good morning. This morning, I am going to speak another aspect of spiritual life. It is not directly involved with spiritual life, but it gives a clear direction before us that on which way we should travel towards our spiritual end. The idea of Purushartha. The word Purushartha, the word is Sanskrit word. But what is the meaning of Purushartha? Purusha and Artha, these are the two words involved in this particular particular expression. Purusha means individual and Artha means meaning. There are several meanings of Artha. Artha means meaning, Artha means goal, Artha means any subject, any object that Artha means. So here we should take up the meaning of Artha as goal. Purusha means individual, individual human being. So the goal of individual human being. The meaning of Purushartha means Purusha, human being, and Artha, goal. So the goal of human being, goal of an individual, that it means Purushartha. And actually this Purushartha, it plays a very important role in our spiritual history, in Indian philosophy. And in Upanishad, you can find this particular term very often. And this term is connected with another Sanskrit term, which is called Vidyas. Vidya means knowledge, learning. It is also a Sanskrit word. Vidya means knowledge, learning, practice. The practice is required, the knowledge is required to attain Purushartha, is called Vidyas. The knowledge or skill or the practice that is required to attain Purushartha. Purushartha is the goal, human goal. To attain Purushartha, to attain human goal, the knowledge, the skill, the practice that you need to attain the human goal is called Vidyas. So Purushartha is connected with Vidyas. If you don't know how to reach there, if you don't have Google map in front of you, how can you reach somewhere? You have to apply that. So, the Vidya that is required here, and that means the Purushartha literally means the goal. When we seek the goal, when it is not with us, then only we seek the goal. If we reach the goal, how can we seek the goal again? So, Purushartha means what is sought by men, human being. What is sought by human being? Now, the question may arise that why human being? Animal also seek many things. Why not animal? Why they only ask or express that what is sought by human being? Animal also seeks so many things: food, rest, sleep. Well, they very clearly say that human being seek it intentionally. Animal seek it instinctually. Animal has the instinct. Whether animal is full or what, immediate you give food, they will come. They will take a little bit and they will go, because they are full. But human being not even come to that food if they are full. So the point is that animal goes with instinctual force. Human being also has instinctual force. And actually Shankaracharya, one of the great philosophers of India or the world, he distinguishes human being and animal on this aspect. If a human being doesn't have clear judgment, discrimination, is equivalent to an animal. But sometimes human beings also seek instinctually, but there must be a term which is called deliberately. That famous verse uttered by Duryodhana. Janami adharma nachame nivritti. Janami dharma nachame pravritti. This is also Sanskrit. Duryodhana, in Mahabharata battle, Duryodhana in religion, all battles are between good and bad. And ultimately good wins. So here also, Duryodhana was bad. And obviously Pandava and Arjuna was the good. So in that battle, when the bad person was asked, why are you fighting? It is not good. Then he stated, Janami dharma. Dharma means the righteousness. I know what is right. But I do not have any inclination towards that. I know what is evil. But I cannot restrict myself from that. That is the case we are experiencing. We know what is good, what is bad most of the time. But we cannot resist ourselves. We can take the risk. Risk is one very riskful term. We just take the risk, and that is bad. So, deliberately human being, even though human being work instinctually, but behind that some deliberation is there. So that means Purushartha means, human goal means only human being. Those who are pursuing consciously. So it is a conscious pursuit. It is a conscious pursuit. That is called Purushartha. And conscious pursuit can only be done by human being. Animal cannot do that. So human goal, Purushartha, means this. So Purushartha is not one single goal, it is a bundle. It is a package. There are 4 things in that package. Almost all the philosophical schools, they explain it the package of 4. The Purushartha goal means, human goal means the package of 4. But only one philosophical school, their view is that it is the package of 3, not the 4. But as most of the school, they like the 4, we shall go take the 4. As it is, the Purushartha, what it is called, another is called Artha. Artha means, the meaning of Artha I have already explained, but another meaning of Artha is wealth, money. So money is also another kind of wealth, which is called Artha, is the goal. So human goal, it is connected with human being. So human goal means it is not something what we need for keeping our life, for doing well in the society. So those are the things that what we need actually. And so it is the thing, like take the case of money. So when we are, so the first thing is, Purushartha means conscious pursuit. This is the first point. Please remember it. The second thing is that when we seek it, that means it is not with us. So the second point is, take the case example of money, wealth. If we put our goal, money is the goal of our life. If we set that goal, that money, wealth is the ultimate goal of our life, if we consider it in that way, then it is not with us. We want to seek it. The second point is that Purushartha must be, when we set our goal, that must be not with us. We are seeking that. And which is not with us, and we seek that. That is called value. The definition of value is this: value added. What does it mean? If I add some value means the cost becomes higher. If we put something, it is economics. So if we add some value there, the cost is higher. If you put some more walnut on the pecan pie, the value of pecan pie will become more and more. So very simple. So that's the point, is this, the value added, which is not with us. We want to seek it. When we get it, we will become enriched. So value addition, that is called value. So value is this, which cannot be attained without much toil, is value in sense, and which is not with us. We can get it and get it without much toil. The next is, there are two types of values. Value, directly we cannot use it. Take the example. The value of 1 pound apple, say it is $5. You have $5 and you are very hungry. Can you fulfill your hunger by $5? Impossible. You have to buy the apple. Then only you will be satisfied. Then you will satisfy your hunger. So value we cannot use directly. We have another step to use the value. Take another example. Truth is the value. But what truth will give to you? If you are truthful, what you will gain? Nothing. Those who are telling lie always, they are gaining actually. So you cannot use value directly. There is one step to use value. From this point of view, there are two types of value. One is instrumental value and one is intrinsic value. There are some values which you can use directly. Not use, but you can get directly. Take the example. You are hungry, you have $5. So you bought apple. This is what kind of value? This is instrumental value. The $5 is the instrument by which you can fulfill your hunger. You can satisfy your hunger. That is called the instrumental value. The instrumental value is this, which you cannot get directly. Value you can get, but the result of value you can get by going one step further. But there are few values which you can get straight. What are those? What is the ultimate thing you got after satisfying your hunger? Pleasure. So pleasure you cannot remove. It is called intrinsic value. It is embedded there. Ultimately we get it. This is called intrinsic value. Intrinsic means it cannot be changed if you change your shirt, your place, etc. Another example I shall give for intrinsic things. You went somewhere and you are searching for a house. Then you ask somebody, can you please tell me where is this house? This particular person, Mr. X, is living there. He is my friend. Oh, yes, yes. See, there is the house. One crow is sitting on the top, on the terrace. That house is Mr. X house. And you go straight there. But after 1 hour, can you see that crow? No. So what is that kind of direction? This is not intrinsic direction. So what is the intrinsic direction? See, the color of this house is red, and please go there. Although in long term color is not also permanent, but which is permanent? But from the point of our reference, let us assume color is permanent. So that is the intrinsic nature. A person, yes, he is Mr. X who is wearing the blue jacket. That is the instrumental or distinctive quality. But intrinsic quality is this. See that person, which is a good person, or who is the white complexion and a good person. So those are the intrinsic quality. But ultimately, pleasure, what is this? Intrinsic or distinctive? Pleasure. Pleasure is a value. It's added something to us. Which can add something to us is called value. So pleasure is an intrinsic value. But $5, distinctive. When we eat the apple and get strength or pleasure, that becomes intrinsic value. But the apple or the $5 is distinctive value. All instrumental, they call it sometimes. So these two types of values are there. Now the point is this Purushartha is something which goes not directly exist or to produce a new. Indeed, according to some Indian thinkers, no existent object can by itself an intrinsic value or Purushartha in the primary sense of term. So which is the intrinsic value, that is not a kind of object. $5, what is the difference between the object and non-object? The object is, it is all Vedantic fallacy. And see, if you go, it is very interesting, if you go through Vedantic scripture, you can find there the disciple or the student asked a very simple question. And that is the question what we always ask. Very simple question. Who we are, from where we have come, where we shall go, why we exist here. Like this, these are the very simple question is asked in Vedanta. Exactly in the same question. What is object? Intrinsic nature and the distinctive nature. See, it is a very simple thing, but it is there. It is real. Now they are saying the intrinsic nature is not objective. It is not an object. $5 is an object. But pleasure is not an object. So what is the difference between subject and object? Object is that which we can experience by something. Some means is required to experience the object. But for intrinsic thing, nothing is required to experience that. Pleasure, what is required for experiencing pleasure? Anything is required? It is spontaneous coming to you. But other knowledge, I am watching this hall, you are watching me, your eyes is required, your senses are required. For pleasure, nothing is required. It comes from within. So, the intrinsic things are not objective, this is subjective. Intrinsic means subjective. So most of the intrinsic Purushartha, most of the intrinsic goal is subjective. But definitely there are distinctive goal which is objective. Now, from this point of view, actually, they divided the package of goal, package of 4, into 2. So what are the package of 4? Artha is Sanskrit word, I shall tell the English also. Artha, the wealth. First is kama. Sanskrit word, kama means desire. If we do not have desire, we do not have wealth. So the first of everything is desire. First desire, first point of our action, every action is desire. Without desire, no action can be started. Think it. So first is kama, means desire. Whole creation starts from desire. If you consider that God creates this universe, why? The question is why? Why God created this universe? Well, God desires it. So everything, all creations, everything, our action comes from desire. So this is desire, first kama, then wealth. It is required, it is directly connected with us. Desire is directly connected with us. Wealth is directly connected with us for sustenance. And then true intrinsic, true distinctive. So true distinctive is kama, desire. To fulfill that, one step is required. Artha, wealth. To get something, to add some value, some step is required. The other two, instinctive, is dharma and moksha. Dharma means righteousness. I shall explain it afterwards. And moksha means the liberation. Now, liberation from where? For the time being, we can say freedom. Freedom from where? It is total freedom, complete freedom. These two are instinctive nature. Dharma and moksha, but these are also sacred, not secular. I shall come. So two are secular also and two are sacred. Kama, desire and wealth is secular, and these two, dharma, righteousness, and these are sacred. I shall come. What is the difference between sacred and secular? I shall come to that. So, the point is this: when value is added, then we have some change. It is a third point. Please remember the points. The first point, what is that? Purushartha means only human being can have that. Second point, what you don't have, you are asking that. That is the second point. The third point, value. These are value. What is the definition of value? Value is that by adding which you have some change. And there are two types of values, distinctive and instinctive. And you know what is the distinctive and instinctive. So, by adding value, we must have some change. And this change also are two types. One change, now I am talking about intrinsic thing, not the distinctive, because distinctive is very gross level. You all know what is the implication of desire, what is the implication of wealth. But I am talking about the instinctive nature, which is not objective. So distinctive is objective, instinctive is not objective. These are the sub-points. Then that change will come. This change are two types. One is distinctive and one is instinctive. The distinctive change, pleasure. So the change comes after addition of value in instinctive framework is thought. One is there will be change in thought and another is change in being. So what is the change in being? Take the example. The example is this. If you have, take the example, to give a trivial but typical example is this. One thing you see, there is a treasure under the soil. And you know that, you dig that and you get these things. And then you have a pleasure. So you have a pleasure by taking something. It is the negative distinctive nature. Then another kind of thing is there, being, the pleasure in being. This is the pleasure in thought. The pleasure is being is that you are searching your glasses and ultimately you will find that your glasses is already with you. This is the example. So what is already in you, you are not active doing this, so there is the mental change. So one is mental change in your being and another is you got the wealth after some activity, involved some activity and you will get that. So these are two types of, one is thought, one is being. You are intrinsically changed or some thought you have developed and you are very happy with that. So this instinctive nature is also have two dimensions. It is coming from you. One is thought, one is being, intrinsic nature. You are having a chocolate, you have some thought, it is added value, you have some thought, but it is also distinctive if you think very carefully. Your brain is required. Here is a difference of understanding between the West and East. According to the West, thought is intrinsic or distinctive. Can you please come forward, anybody? Thought, it is intrinsic or distinctive. Intrinsic means which is subjective, not objective. Which cannot change by the changing of time, place. That is called instinctive. The example is crow. Red shirt, red. So thought, what is that? Distinctive or instinctive? Huh? Why? Yes. So thought is distinctive. And thought is also, although it is coming to the subject, for thought we also need our mind. Why it is distinctive? Because according to Indian philosophy, thought develops not in brain but in mind. But according to the West, thought develops in brain. Here is the difference. According to Indian thought, Indian view, thought means vritti. the modification of mind. That is the thought. But according to the West, thought means it is the brain function, grey matter. So, these two types of things are coming. One is being, intrinsically change. Then the third point is that the secular and sacred, I have already mentioned there are 4 values, package of 4. What is the difference between distinctive and, secular and sacred? The secular is that lower value may, when realized, bring immediate satisfaction. Secular can give you immediate satisfaction, but sooner or later the satisfaction terminates. Other values of the same kind will thereafter make their appeal, but the result of pursuing them will be no less resistant. It is a contemplating their invariably transitory character that man comes to think of enduring values of the and to earn them. Of 4 values mentioned, dharma, moksha are the spiritual values, and the other are secular values. Secular values always terminate. You can get it readily, but it will not permanent. On the other way, spiritual value are permanent. For spiritual value, dharma, it was not before the moksha. It was dharma first. But ultimately, they found that moksha is higher than dharma. So, the supremacy, it was upheld, that supremacy of dharma. And more than one old Sanskrit work speak only of 3 categories of values. But gradually moksha came to be regarded as the only ultimate and supreme value. Dharma being subordinate to it in one way or another. But the relation between dharma and moksha, righteousness and moksha, is this: dharma supports moksha. So dharma will help to get the moksha. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that when it is pursued with no desire for what is commonly recognized as the fruits of work, it qualifies for moksha. So when dharma is performed without fruits of work, it leads one to moksha. So moksha involves an actual change in condition of the self. Some hold that it means merely a change in the point of view towards it. But it is the later Shankaracharya, he emphasized on this: the self is being and will ever be what it is called Brahman. So the point is that what is the intrinsic things? Why we are talking about intrinsic things? Because intrinsic is spiritual. Intrinsic is subjective. Spiritual means not transitory. Spiritual means permanent. That is why we are talking about intrinsic. So what is the thing which is intrinsic in this whole universe? Here is another difference between the outlook of the West and East. It is very, very important outlook. If we do not understand this, this is the basic fundamental difference between the West and East. Unless we remember it always, it is very difficult for us to understand any kind of philosophy. The distinction is this. I mentioned it earlier number of times. The human personality is dichotomous and trichotomous. Can anybody remember it? What is dichotomy in human personality and what is trichotomy in human personality? Anybody? Anybody? Please come forward.
Dichotomy is spiritual and material.
No, the concept of human personality. This is these are basic fundamental things. Yes, the human personality according to the West is body and mind. There is no any third entity. Spirit is connected with mind. Definitely the spirit word is there. Self word is there. Soul word is there in the Western philosophy. But it is all are connected with mind. But in the East, the human personality has three things: body, mind, and self or spirit. This is the fundamental basic difference. And on this only the edifice of all theology and philosophy can be built. So, according to Indian philosophy, only one thing is the intrinsic thing. Intrinsic means it will never change in respect to time, space, and causation. It is not objective. It is not secular. So temporary means it is subject to time, space, and causation. That is called temporary. Now it is there, next moment it is not there. It is called temporary. Space. Here it is there, Berkeley it is there, in Boston it is not there. Space. This is called space. And causation. Everything has a cause. Cause means the creation has a beginning. Cause means something has a beginning. And which has a beginning, that has an end. And which has a beginning and end, is that permanent or temporary? Temporary. So according to Indian philosophy, the self, it doesn't have any beginning, eternal. Which has no beginning and end, that is called eternal. So this thing is called real intrinsic. This is subjective. So moksha means liberation. Liberation from what? Liberation from all those values to set the one value, one Purushartha, that is intrinsic. Why? Because distinctive has so many problems. Temporary, objective, secular, So intrinsic thing, subjective thing, you do not have to depend to anything else. For any objective, you have to depend on others. Any objective thing. But for any subjective thing, you do not have to depend on anybody else. The joy, take the example of joy and happiness. For joy and happiness, we have to take the help of outside people. So no outside people is in your hand. You have to depend on others. So there is no freedom. So ultimate freedom comes from self-dependence. What is the self-dependence? Your happiness, all kind of happiness we are getting from external source. Think it. Without external source, we do not have any happiness. Well, something happened 30 years ago, and you are thinking that, and you will become very happy. You are not depending on others, but you are depending on your memory. You are depending on your thoughts, whether it is brain or whether it is mind, whatever. And that is also objective. That is also objective. Here is also a difference of understanding. According to the West, thought, brain, mind, those all are subjective. But those are not subjective. Because those are the machines. Has a beginning and end. Even our body has the beginning and end. That is why it is not permanent. So only the self, that will give you eternal, permanent happiness. And that is subjective. So why we have the self? So why we cannot get it? Take the example of the glasses. You need not do any work. For the treasure, hidden treasure, you have to dig the soil. But for find the glass, you are trying to find it everywhere. But it is, you are wearing that. It is on your eyes. So for what is required for this? What is required for this? To find the glass? What?
Realize your own face.
Yes, awareness, knowledge. Yes, it is there. The awareness, the knowledge. Or a third person will tell you, yeah, it is here. So this third person is Guru. So self is with you. But we are not aware. Only the awareness is required. So what is the Purushartha? Purushartha is to know the self. And when we can know the self, we get the real freedom. Moksha. Moksha means freedom. The freedom. Freedom means you are self-dependent. As long as you are dependent on others, you are not free. Your wealth is there, huge money, I am free. I have extreme freedom. I have power and money. You have power and money, that is true. But if your health doesn't permit, what will happen? But if you are aware about the self, then nothing is required. Neither your health nor your mental awareness, nothing is required. So that is the goal the Indian philosopher, they said. Totally independent. You need not do to get it anywhere. You need not have to dig the soil to get it. It is completely intrinsic. That is the best goal they found. And they set it. That is the Purushartha. It is not that you do not have that. You are having that. But you don't have the awareness. So in that sense, you are not having that. That is why you would seek. I would request Chuni Babu, somebody is ringing the doorbell. Somebody probably is waiting, or I don't know, in that about each side. Yes. Can you please check that? And calling actually probably, I don't know. So, this is the goal. Do you have any question?
Is there a real distinction between the subject and the object? The object is eventually derived from the subject, right? So the subjective self has objectified itself.
Yes, exactly. You are right, 100% right. How?
A desire, I don't know. So the subjective self, either it appeared to objectify.
Exactly. How?
I don't know the figure.
Okay. Anybody?
That's his will.
What are the two selves then? What is the subjective self? What is the objective self?
One is permanent, one is derived.
Yes, but there is a term. What we now, at present, what we say I.
That's the illusion.
Yes, so the one term is used there, which is called ego. Ego is the thing that divides us in different selves. Not only two selves, you are 1,000 selves. Shall I give the example? You are a father, you are a friend, you are a son, you are a colleague. So how many selves you have? You have, each time you have a different role play. So, the more we divide into different parts, the more we have conflict, we have suffering. Where is the conflict? As a friend, you are very sad because one of your very close friends passed away. You are very sad as a friend. But on the same day, your son got the highest mark, qualified in job interview. You'll be very happy as a father. So don't you think a same person has a conflict? So either you happy or sad. What is your stand? So we have several selves. So what is the way out?
Negate all objectification.
Exactly. As long as you are in the society, you have to play all the roles. But know it for sure, you are taking your attires and you are appearing in the stage before the audience. So you are not free. If you want to use the restroom at that very point, take it otherwise. You are not free. You have to continue your act. But who are in the chair? They are the audience. They are the witnessing the drama. They are free. At any time they can go and use the restroom. So, be the witness, not participate in the drama. So there are various roles in front of you. Don't be identified with that. When you are identified with that, you develop problem. Play it. Come down. When you are in the green room, nothing is there. You are an individual. Neither you are identified with the roles, nor you are indifferent attire. You are what you are. Play it. Come back in the green room. Best, the first option, sit. When you can sit on the chair as a spectator, when you are unable to participate in the drama, the director will say, no, it is not your job. Go and sit on the chair and watch it. So somehow or other, either we have to prove that we are unable to participate in it, or by your wish, you have to go there. That is the first option. If you cannot do that, go to the green room and identify what you are. Don't be identified with any role play. But as long as you are in the midst of the play, you have to play. Play it. So your real identity will be with your what you are, not with your role play. Not as a father, not as a friend, not as a colleague, not as a citizen, but what you are. You are human being. Not you are an engineer, not you are a doctor, but you are Mr. X, period. How you can do that? How can you do that? Know it, practice it. Simple. Know it, practice it. How to practice? Contemplate it. Put it in your mind, deeper and deeper way. That's all. Any question? So, what is the Purushartha then? Moksha. And why moksha? These are the logic I tried to present before you. Thank you. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkham Apnuat Sarvastarotu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarva Sadbuddhim Apnotu Sarva Sarvatra Nandatu Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat Sajjana Shantimapnuat Shantamuccheti Bandhebhyo Muktaschanyan Vimochayet. May all be happy. May all enjoy good health. May all see happy events. May all be freed from miseries. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bondages. May the freed make others free. May the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied. For he being pleased, whole universe feels satisfied. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. As usual, tea and coffee will be served in our Saradananda Hall, which will be followed by Prasad Luncheon. And next Sunday, 3rd December, we are almost at the end of this year. So 3rd December, we will have Sunday morning talk here. So you will get it in our bulletin. Thank you. And those who are watching from live streaming, for them, we are sorry we could not show our class on the live streaming last Sunday. It was because of the Comcast, our service provider. It was out, the Comcast connection was out from this area for a long time, so we were unable to telecast the program. Sorry for that.